Rios. It is June 21st, and welcome to another new episode of Style by Stevie. Our very special guest today has been in the acting industry for over a decade, and I'm super excited to have him here in the dollhouse with us. He is a hunk, also, too. And I'm excited to have him here as we get into some things, fashion dolls. I'm super excited for our very special guest. He is here right now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome our very special guest, Matthew F. Rios. Hello, hello,
Hello
and welcome to Dollhouse.
there.
How are
Hello.
you?
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm doing
How about
wonderful. It
yourself?
is such a pleasure to have you here. So before we get into this interview, how has
Likewise. Likewise.
2023 been for you
Mhm.
thus far?
Uh,
Yes.
in general, it's been good. It's everything's good. I mean, I don't really plan things. I just go with the flow, see how everything goes, and that's it.
Yes, 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 yes. And you have a birthday coming up next month. So how exciting is that? You're a Cancer. You were born on so
Yes,
any
July
special plans for your
July
birthday coming
4th.
up
Yes,
next month?
yes. Not really. Just to lay low. I've just been busy within the past, I would say, year, maybe two, as far as like acting and stuff like that. So good time to wind down, relax, recharge, then get back up again.
Yes, 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 yes. And you were born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So tell us about that. What was it like for you growing up? Dreams and aspirations.
uh, growing up in Philly, it's not. It was pretty, I lived the average life with my family, which I love dearly. Um, Pretty much, went up to 12th grade, then passed everything, went to college for theater, community college, then made my way to New York to the conservatory. Then after that, when I got the conservatory, decided to find an agent, uh, joined the union for the actors, and just kept on going, 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 and just working, and just that was it. And now I'm back at school again now for paralegal work, but I'm still doing my acting, which I love. And it's like it's hard because in Summerfield you have to have something that comes in. You can't just go out there and just go, hey, I just don't. I'm not gonna have no job. I'm not gonna have no income or nothing like that. I'm just gonna go ahead and just do it. It's kind of hard to do it that way if you don't have something coming in for headshots. For then when you start out, you're not always gonna get paid for everything that you do. So it's kind of it's a process. But yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell. Growing up in Philly, I mean, it's a it if you're trying to get a role for anything, go to Philly. You'll see anything in Philly. I mean, from the good to the bad, you'll see everything.
And who were some of your inspirations, actors wise, growing up, getting into the business?
Classic
Mm,
Denzel Washington. I love him. I love him. I think that's really been my ultimate favorite since day one. I mean, getting into those characters, whether it's mentally or whether it's physically. And that's what I tend to do. A lot of it's physical, like my body goes up and down. But also, a lot of people, and I see that with him too. It's like it's not about um, learning the script or getting the lines. It's about living in that moment. You know, you get a scene with a person, whether it's a male, female, or even a group, and you have to be dramatic. You have to say those lines. Sometimes when that group or that person, you'll feed off that, and the line will just come out. So
absolutely. Now, you're known for your hit roles in films such as Beautiful Something. You did The Nail, the story of Joey Nardone, and you also did Unexpected, which would have been
something,
in
yeah.
2020. You've had so many films throughout your career, and you've been in the game for over a decade. Out of all of the projects that you've done throughout your career and catalog of work, which one stands out?
Wow. Um, yeah, I get this question a lot. man. I would say the one that stands out to me, I did was recently within the I think it was 2021 or 2022 of the breakup. I think that was it. Um, you know, the unique thing was that with director Jay Rodriguez was he filmed it on his iPhone, and you had to imagine so many things like that person was there and getting into those emotions and um, imagining a person was not imagining a person is not there and picturing that they are there and getting to that world, and that's what a lot of roles do. I think that's really, and they won that film won a lot of awards and stuff. But just getting into that and just being, all right, pretend she's here or get into that zone. There's a scene where I did in the bathroom. I had to pretend I was crying, but I had to really get into that thought mode. Um, Even when just the whole concept of the person breaking up with you and that person not being there. He did do a sequel to that. It's already out, which I'm not in. I suppose it's supposed to come out the next one, but uh, you know, and it counts all. Like I don't have a one that's like my ultimate favorite yet. I just think in every film I do, I bring in something unique. Um, so yeah.
And I've checked out some of your reels, and it's like almost all of your characters, in a way, are very villainous. So, do you have somewhat of an input in your characters and the aesthetic and what you want your characters to look like?
I don't know. They say I'm a Latino, so they say I look like a badass. you know, I don't know. It's just how I get casted and stuff. I would like to do uh, other stuff, which I'm really trying to get into. And the thing is, this is why you take classes. This is why you do these things in the industry, so you'll be ready for those type of things. But I don't know. I just always get those type of roles, which I don't mind doing. But the thing is, it's not, and it's not me because the whole different person. They would say I'm a sweetheart. They would say I'm a gentle person. You know, but it's just when you get a script and you get into zones, it's like, all right, now it's time for me to be a badass. Now it's time for me to be, a part of a badass, but also have a kind heart. You know, so I don't know why, but I'm looking into getting to other venues, other not venues, that's the wrong word, other areas, so I can show more of emotional side, more of an action side, more of a sentimental side, or more of a kind side, like not just that one, hard person. Like whenever I'm using the sense to be something, I mean, it's not even like she'll send me like I had a commercial for something not too long ago. It was just a regular guy who was just the casual person. So I mean, whatever comes my way, I usually take. But I do read the script, and if I don't like it, I mean, there were times where I did not take a role for certain things because manager I had before. I would say a quick story. It was I think it was one of the Kevin Hart's movies, and at that time, I mean, it's not that I was starting in the industry like that. And one of my buddies who does like Law and Order sometimes, he's like, why you didn't take the role? Well, I just didn't feel it, Oh, you would have been side by side. That doesn't matter. That doesn't, because I look at him, he's a regular actor as well. I mean, you can't be sitting there, and I know people will get starstruck and stuff like that. I've been in this business for so long. Like, if I see someone, I'm just like, all right, let's get to work. Like, that's what we're doing. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm gonna go there for the main actor that's there or to get public. That's like getting a job and you want to go for it because of the money. At the end of the day, you're not gonna be happy. If I'm not happy with something, I'm not gonna go ahead and choose it. So, and it because you got to put yourself in that world. You got to make time for that. Um, and it's tough. Like it's not easy picking a role. You can't. In the beginning, like when I started, I don't even know what year was it. Oh gosh, because I started doing dancing first. I took everything. Who wouldn't want to take a role that's whatever type of person? But that's just to build myself up. Start until I started learning the industry more, where it's like you don't always have to take that role. So.
And that happens in this business so often where actors, specifically us as people of color, we get typecast in a role. And it's just like, I want to stretch
There
out
you
and I
go.
want to be able to show my range and my depth of what I'm capable of doing. And I've interviewed, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well,
Yeah, I was
no, no,
saying
no.
that
Go
I've
ahead.
interviewed
I would take it up.
so many actors, and they were saying the same thing. Like, I'm more than just that one specific character. I want to be able to portray different roles also too. So you were saying, I'm sorry.
Like my first name is Fernando. Like after my dad, I love my dad. That's my daddy made me. But I had this manager from LA, and he was like, well, why aren't you? And another guy too. I have another agent that I met a while ago. You should be more Latino. Make your name more. You use your first name. I said, no, I want to show them that I can be magic. I could be that Italian guy. You know what I'm saying? Like I could be like I don't have to be. I don't want to be type. Well, that's the way the English. Well, then they're not gonna get me then. You know what I mean? So I decided to use Matthew and keep the F there for Fernando and Rios. A lot of people don't know that. So it's just like I want to show. Oh, he's more diverse. He's not just that Latino guy, or he can shave his face off and look different. He can grow his hair out and look different, and he can show different emotions and be different. And you're right. You know, we do people of color get typecast, and not that I'm mad about that or anything like that. That does limit me from roles, but also I can do other things.
Exactly. Exactly. You're more than just that. My next question for you is, what is your biggest fear?
Mhm.
Biggest
My
fear.
biggest I fear. Um, You know, my biggest fear is that this is my biggest fear when I'm performing, and it goes back to what I was saying. Not um performing and having that audience member in my world. That's my biggest fear because, like I said, I'm not gonna pick a role that I can't do and just do it for excuse my French, for the hell of it, and be on screen or be on in theater and just look like crap. So my biggest fear is just not engaging that audience, whether it's in film or whether it's at a live show. I want to be able to put them in my world. I want to be able to grab them by the arm and be like, hey, this is my world here. This is what we're doing. Like in all those movies that you see, like there's times maybe you do it too, where you're engaging in film, you're like, and somebody's like, hey, snap out of it. Like, yo, like you're so into it. So that's what I want. I want to grab that for people. My biggest fear is not doing that. My biggest fear is to be like, wow, I just saw Matthew in the film. He looked like crap. That was the crappiest thing I just seen. And it happens. It's happened, but don't want to always make that a habit. That's my biggest fear.
What makes you the happiest throughout your career? What makes you the happiest?
The happiest, um, living in that moment where you can put yourself in a different person's shoe. Um, so they did a movie on you, Stevie, and they say you have to be. Well, I'm just using an example. You have to be him. You have to live his life. You have to be in that. You have to be in that world. That actually drives me to be like, hey, you really depended on me. You casted me for this. You really think I'm going to be able to do that? Like, oh no, I know you're going to do it. So it's like that drives me, like someone depending on me and then getting into that world and successfully doing it. I mean, that's perfect. And then I get to meet, for example, with you, I get to meet that person or give it to meet you in person and be like, hey, so how'd you do X, Y, and Z, or what made you get to, or this and that, and just being in that zone and creating something for others to see and being the best that you can at it. I think that's what really makes me happy.
How do you feel that the internet, we're now in a day and age of social media, and we've got Twitter, YouTube, so many things. Everything is social and technology. How do you feel that the internet has
Hmm.
impacted the acting industry?
Um, it's really impacted it. So as you see, I have a blue thing up here. So whenever I do my auditions, I have to stand in front of that and do my lines. So nowadays, um, there is no going to the office and auditioning with 100 people that look like you, sitting on a couch and waiting for the next casting director to call you into audition. Now everything's on this freaking blue cloth or green, whatever you have. You got a green light, which I had. That's why I took my glasses off, 'cause I didn't want to mess up the lens here, uh, so everybody can see me. Yeah, there you have a ring light, so it's changed. I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but it's also a good thing. Like it has its bad with the whole thing changing up since the pandemic. Um, because now you don't go to the office, but now you don't live that experience. Now you don't get time to, let's say you have to go to New York. Oh, you want to live that experience, and I'm gonna get some coffee before I go. And you get to breathe and think, or uh, mingling with other actors that do look like you, or actors that are auditioning as well. Making connections. I think that kills it, and also meeting the casting director or the person who's auditioning you in person. In person makes the first impression. So I think that really kind of like really is a negative thing to it. I think the positive is that yeah, you don't have to travel, which is great. But now it's like you're recording and then you're it goes right to the agent if your agent gave you that gig, and then it goes to the casting. So I think I mean it has both things, both perks. As far as like social media, um, I'm okay with social media. Like I'm in between. Like you probably never really see me post stuff unless I really need to, or change my pictures and stuff like that. I think it's helped with a lot of people because now people are just, they got YouTubers, you got individuals who are doing what you do. People are getting paid for certain things, which is good. I think it's helped um, with as far as like entertainment or the media, or whatever the case may be. I think it's helped, but also um, I just think that since the pandemic, things have just changed for like I'm just in the middle of everything. But as far as social media, I think it's a platform for all of us as artists to go out there and show people what we do. But then again, it's like so many people doing what we do. It's like you want to be able to be different out of the bunch, you know, and that's the downfall where you have to like stick out, where you have to keep trying, you have to make videos, you have to, as far as you go, you have to get recognizable people or people who have, credits and stuff like that. So it's like it has its good and it has its
Shout outs to my brother K Toops. He is the host of the K Toops Spot. Always showing love, always supporting. Make sure you guys head on over and subscribe and check out his platform. Now, we did a couple collaborations together, so I love Matthew's honesty. That's what K Toops said.
I appreciate it, you. Thank you
Yes,
so
and
much,
speaking of
man.
that, if that was going to kind of gear into my next question for you. If you could change anything about
Sure.
the entertainment business, what would that one thing be?
Um, what would I change? I think everybody should get a chance. A lot of people don't get chances. Um, you could have one, you could be a striving artist who's never really made it. You can be 50, 60 years old, you could be 20, 25, and you can't see, it's like a job. You can't seem to nail it. Give somebody a chance. You can use that person for something, just make that person happy. That's just me. I'm just that type of person. I love to see people happy. So it's like, if you're in the industry and you're like, man, I just can't get audition. I got my headshots. I have I have an agent, or I'm trying to get an agent. I'm taking classes. I have network and stuff like that. And there's people who come up who ask me like, what do you like? How do you do this? How do you do this? Like, it's not just luck. Trust me. There's a handful who do have luck, but then there's a handful who just don't. Where people are so just typical, like they want to typecast somebody. I want this guy with curly hair. Well, what about the bald hair guy who has 10 times more talent? You know, and I think that's with the industry where I kind of really hinder with that. Like, I think they should really you know give people chances. There's people out there, like in the regular real world. There's people out there who really want to work, and you're not giving them a chance because he doesn't have a degree. You're not giving this guy a chance because he
Right.
doesn't look the image. Come on, man. You don't know what he's going to bring to that. He might bring you millions of dollars. You never know.
And everyone deserves
Oh.
a fair opportunity in this business. Sweetest Sin 2829 says, "Future is bright, amazing talent."
Appreciate it.
Everyone
Appreciate it.
deserves a fair and equal chance because there's so many people who could be out here going for the same exact role, and it's just like you never know unless you try it. And we've seen casting calls where people were literally going for a specific role and they would choose just that one particular person. But it's just like you might not get it the first time, but go back and try again the second time, and then you maybe get
Yeah, and it's hard because it's like you get so limited with like, all right, you get this audition. Like there was one recently I had to submit and I had some internet issues and I'm talking to my agent, hey, do you want it or not? And then she didn't respond. So it was like it's like you get that one chance and it's like and you think about it, you're like, damn, that would have been my spot. That would have been me. But then it's like, all right, well, things happen and then in life you really have to take it in where things happen for a reason, you know? And that was for a major commercial and I'm just like, man, it just happened recently. But then again, when you get auditions and you get gigs, and you're like, all right, so now you got to wait on to the next project. You finish that project, you got to wait until the next project. You don't get this audition, well, you got to wait till the next audition. So it's more like you get it, you hit it. It's like baseball. You get a strike, you know, but you get that home run, then you got to take it with you.
absolutely, and you can't jinx it. Like most people will jinx it. Oh, I'm not gonna get it, but you never know unless you try and you go for it. You never know what the director or
Hmm.
producer could be looking for in that particular time and in that moment.
And you always want to make a good impression, like what we're doing here. Like, you know, you might be like, hey, you know, out of the video, like, well, right to, hey, man, I think there's a good thing coming out. I think you should look into it. Maybe, you know, it's just all about your presence, about what you show. And, you know, me and myself have been auditioning for accounts of casting directors, managers, agents, and stuff like that. And it's just like the agent I have now. I'll give you a quick story. I was taking classes. Well, I went to New York, and one of my friends has a manager. Went down to the New York to do the audition, and nervous as heck. As an actor, you're always going to be nervous. As a performer, you're always going to be nervous. And so go in there, do the auditions. Hey, you did good. And she's looking at my picture, she's looking at me, and she's like, you did good, but I want you to go to this class. I'm looking up like, man, what did I do wrong? Go to the classes, remind her that I'm going to those classes so she can remember me. And I'm talking to the guy that's the teacher, and he's like, I see you got a lot of work. I said, yeah. He's like, you know, you're pretty good at my class, blah blah blah. You know, we're all in the class, we're all talking like here reviews them, and we got to get you some work. I said, yeah. So I emailed them outside of class. I said, hey man, like this manager this um, agent I got's not giving me work. I went to this for a manager. She's not writing me back. She told me to go to your classes. Like he's like, I'm gonna get back to you on that. Blah blah. I was like, great, whatever. Next thing you know, I'm in class. He's like, I did get your email. I'm gonna email you someone I know that's a agent not too far from you. I was like, yeah, sure. No, he does. He emails me. He's like, send her your information. You know, let her know I referred you. Next thing you know, a couple weeks later, I'm auditioning for her. Now she's my new agent. So it's just all about who, you know, one door shut down on
Yeah,
me, another door opened, you know, and then that agent has been giving me and there's some, you know, stuff she could find for me that I seem a good fit, and I'll go ahead and audition. But like I said, impression works, man. It's just about who you know, and it's not by luck. Like I said, a handful of people do get luck, but if you sit there and you know push yourself, you know, as a person, you making your videos, making it over and over, someone will eventually see your stuff. Someone will be like, hey, what's going on here? This guy's pretty good. Let me see what I can do with him, or whoever the case may be. Even in my situation where, you know, I have to make a YouTube, I have the social media, I have to do all these things to keep all my headshots. I got to keep up with auditions, to keep up. You know, like this morning, a photographer emailed me a couple of weeks ago. I was like, hey, I want to work with you. And we ended up having a Zoom. He's like, hey, I'll let you know when we'll start the shoot so we can get this, you know, going. I was like, all right. But it's just putting yourself out there in so many ways. I think that works. It's just that impression.
absolutely. My brother K took seconds that he says that's so true. Now that
Absolutely,
gets
absolutely.
into you said impression because you guys know that this is a fashion related platform and we talk a lot about style and beauty and so many things. Matthew, how would you describe your style in three words, your personal
um, well, give me some words. what do you want me to? What do you mean by style? What do you mean? Like, what do I
Yes,
wear,
by
stuff like that,
I know
or
for
like,
me, I go
how do
over
I
the
dress?
top with vintage, yeah, like
Oh, I
that.
know.
So yeah,
I try to keep it. I love my expensive stores like Express and stuff. But I try to keep it simple. Like fitted pants, nice shirt. Shirt has to be fitted. Like everything to fit me. I'm very picky with that. Nice clothes. I mean, nice shoes. I really have any hair now, so um, and as far as like my hygiene, I had to get my eyebrows done like every 2 weeks. Like I gotta get the haircut every 2 weeks. If I could get it every week, I would. Just don't have the time to do it. If I could hire someone, like I would do that. But yeah, more like being more fitted casual jeans. Sometimes I'll even wear this. I'll throw on some slacks with a nice shirt and some nice jewelry. But nothing over to the top. I'm not you, so I can't do that. So I just try to keep it. Nobody can beat you on that. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't compete with you. But yeah, so just keep it like simple, casual wear, nice fitted jeans. I just like my stuff to fit me because when you go out there, no matter what you're doing, you're showing people how you carry yourself, you know, especially when you're doing things like this or when you're going on auditions, even though that's how in the regular, you want to have a good image. So, yeah.
and that's important in this business. You have to be consistent, and I try to make sure that I'm consistent with everything that I do. Every look, everything is executed perfectly because image follows, reputation follows in this business. So that is key. It's all about having your own personal individuality. All right, fashion dogs.
Of
It is
course.
time for our games here with Matthew. All right. So the first one is called the Rapid Five. And Matthew has to tell us five things that he can't live without. It can be his family, it can be his favorite drink, football team, whatever he's into in these five things. All right. And then the next one, I'm cutting the velvet rope and I'm allowing people to get to know who Miss Stevie, the hostess, is. So Matthew's going to ask me some questions. It can be fashion related, beauty related, goal related, whatever he wants to know. Feel free to ask. All right. So that's turn the tables. Let's start off with the rapid five. What are five things that Matthew can't live without?
Oh gosh. Um, mm. I always have to have my smell good, so it's gotta either be the cologne. So there's a cologne that I love. It's called Creed Aventus. It's really expensive. I love it. It smells great. Um, we got and also my lotion. I'm a big fan of Bath and Body Works. Um,
It's so funny you mentioned that. I'll get to that. You guys already know what's going on Friday. We'll talk about it.
yeah. Yes, I love me some Bath and Body Works. The Smell Goods, which is the cologne, the lotion. I always gotta have my book bag on me. I just don't know where I'm gonna be, so I always have to have my gym stuff with me. So I'm a freak at the gym. I love the gym, as you can see with the pictures. I just I'll be going after you're done with you. Um, what was that, two,
Hmm.
right? That's two things. Okay. Let's see. See, if you said things to do, I'd have been different. Okay, but things. Okay. Well, could it be? No, that can't be it. Okay. Three is any of my cleaning stuff I had to have, because I have to. I'm always doing laundry every weekend, and I'm always cleaning. So that'd be good. I need detergent, my air wicks. I gotta have my small goods for the place. That's three. Um, hmm. I always gotta have my fruits with me. I'm always eating fruits. Don't want to ask me why. I always gotta have my. I just had like a whole apple and oranges before I got on here. I know it sounds weird. Um, and three. if I can have the barbershop with me every day, I can probably say it's not one, it's not a thing, but it's something I don't know. I'm into just getting the haircut and the eyebrows done. The hygiene. It's not about looking good. It's about some men out here is just not up to par. They're just really out here just not. Come on, they just can't. So it's just like I gotta have that. I gotta have like being into at least getting some type of hygiene going, like getting some haircut, eyebrows, getting shaved. So yeah, those are my
SRT Lex says, "Yo, my man Matt."
Thanks, sir.
All right, so you're like myself. We're both into self care, indulging in self care, and he said Bath and
Here we
Body
go.
Works. So you
Yes.
guys already know what is occurring Friday. Me and my girl Tina Marie are going to be collaborating. As we all know, the semi-annual sale is going on, and I have a massive haul for you guys coming this Friday. So make sure you guys tune in. Me and my girl Tina Marie will be going live, and I will be hauling my products. It's like a bunch of candles, and then I have another shipment that is coming tomorrow as well too. So make sure you guys tune in Friday at 3 for that. It's going to be fun. So I just wanted to plug that. As we all know, all right, it is
Oh,
time to turn those tables. Without further ado, I'm going to pass it on down to Matthew here, and he's going to ask me some questions that he's curious to know, and you guys can get to know a little bit about me through his questions. All right, take it away.
all right. Man, let's do what's your goals like with in the next. Everybody says five. I'm gonna do three.
What was that? I couldn't hear you.
What's your goals? What's your goals within the next 3 years? I don't say five because everybody says five. I don't want. We're not gonna go that far out.
Okay,
You
you
never
want me
know.
to give
But
a couple of my goals? Okay, so a couple of my
yeah,
goals. Yes,
your
my
top
top
goals.
goals would be to own a hair salon, would be to own another one would be to own some sort in the realm of fashion to jumpstart a clothing line, design and sketch. Because I've always had a love for fashion ever since high school. So that would be another one of my goals. Another one of my goals that I would like to do to actually get into writing novels. I have so much of my life in detail.
Okay.
I talk about it on the show. So I would just like to write stories that could help people. Definitely.
Okay. Okay. Um, what makes you different from everyone?
What makes me different from
I know it makes
now?
me think. Sorry. Hey, you had me thinking too,
Um,
so don't worry about that.
I have a different outlook on life, sort of like the glass half empty, the glass half full. Somewhat like that, I have an outlook that other people wouldn't have, and I kind of get people to open their minds. So that's a gift in itself, being able to capture amazing conversations with people. So that's kind of what makes me different. And I have mystery. It's like people don't know what's in my mind. They don't know. They don't get me. I've always been called the what is it? What's the wild card of my siblings because I do have brothers and sisters, and I've always been the one that's been unpredictable. You can't expect or understand what's in my mind. And that's most cases for most Scorpios, because that is my zodiac sign, Scorpio. Yes.
Oh,
We're very
okay, okay, water
mysterious,
sign.
but yes, and sometimes petty, but I haven't had to get petty in a while. I've kind of filtered that out. Maybe in my teenage years, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to get you that. I'm going to get you that. But now I've just kind of toned down. It's more subtle. So you can tell a lot through my eyes, just through the mystery. Definitely.
Gotcha. I see. I see. Um, how do you find your artist? Whether it's actors, models, fashion, like whatever. Like when you're for this platform here, how do you find your artists? Like, how do you go out there? What do you like online, or you get like, how do you do it?
Well, first I review the person's work. I watch their work and I say, oh my God. I sit back and I said to myself and I evaluate this person will be great for the platform. You know, if they're promoting something, if they're working on something, they need to come on and promote it and talk about it. So that's kind of how I go. And I reach out to them like I did with you, of course. And I say, okay,
Mhm.
they are much welcome to come to this platform. I would love to interview them and just get to know them and see their outtake on life and just the industry.
Gotcha. Okay. What was that? Three? All right. Okay. Um, I get this. Okay. How long does it take for Stevie to get
I
ready?
gave that number when China, what was it, China McCoy, when I did my interview with China McCoy. Someone asked me that question. For
Okay.
hair, it takes hour, hour and a
Okay.
half. You guys know because I'm a woman, and it takes women a little bit longer to get ready and hair and makeup and
Yeah.
things. But I have to make sure that I pick the perfect look, make sure the detail and everything goes well together.
Okay. I got you. I can understand that. It takes me a while too, even though I don't have hair, but I understand. We got the Bath and Body Works connection. I see that. So
Yes.
you got to
And,
make sure you
and of
get every
course, the
part.
scent combo, in which I post, I do my scent of the day. So, yes.
Of course. Okay. All right. That leads me to that one. Okay. Um, what, what's your favorite Bath and Body Works scent?
Oh, I have so many. Like today, I'm wearing cucumber melon. I wish we had smell-o-visions. You guys could smell it
Okay.
on me. That's my favorite. It's cucumber melon's been around.
Listen, it's gonna come. Watch. They're gonna make. That's gonna come in a couple
So
years.
you
You'll see.
guys could smell it on me. But that's what I'm wearing today. But one of my favorite Bath and Body Works scents. Oh my God, I have so many. There's a thousand wishes. There is Life of the Party. Ivory Cashmere. I would have to say, out of all of them, I would go with a thousand wishes because it's a classic, and that's that king say that is inside that scent. So I would go with a thousand wishes.
Gotcha. Okay. I got to smell that one. Okay. I don't think I smelled that one before. Okay. Yeah. And that's five,
Hmm.
right? Was that five? Was that five?
I
Did
think
we do
so.
five?
I think so. We lost count. I got so caught up in the
Five.
conversation.
Yeah, yeah. Say.
But that is turn the tables, fashion dolls. For those of you who are curious to know, Sweetest Sin says yes. Hey, Team Scorpio, yes. I have so many of the Bath and Body Works scents that I love. Gingham is another one of my favorites, but I layer it. I layer my scents, and it's like when you walk into the room, it's like,
Yeah.
what is? Oh my God, what is that scent? What are you wearing? It smells amazing.
Do you do it based on the day that's coming up coming forth, or you just put it whatever
Whatever comes to
comes
my
to your
mind.
mind?
And it has to be color coordinated, as we all know. Right? Cucumber melon, I actually paired it with gingham fresh. So that smells great. The
Oh,
pear and the cucumber go together. Very delicious. So can't go wrong.
okay. I'll take that one.
All right, fashion dolls, do we have any questions for myself or Matthew? This is such a great conversation, and we hope you guys are picking up on some of the gems as well too that Matthew imparted into this interview, which is whatever it is that you're going for, make sure that you go for it and follow your life's endeavors. It might not be right now in that moment, but trust me, it's coming. You just have to really, really go and do your research, do your homework. There's so many people out here that want to become actors, and there's so many courses that you can take that can help you excel in becoming the best actor you can be. And then next step, you'll be forwarded into directing or producing. So you have to start somewhere. A lot of people want to go for the main role or next to the lead role, but you have to start somewhere. And you might start off doing background work. You never know what could happen in the next case.
Yeah, yeah, I could definitely agree with what you're saying. You can't just go out there and just say, "Hey, I want the speaking role next to um whoever." I'll mention him again, Kevin Hart, or Dwayne Johnson, or even Denzel Washington. You can't. They're gonna look at you. You're gonna have that back, even though you might have the potential. Everybody has potential, but you got to start somewhere. Like you said, even started. I did extras for a little bit, even though I hated it, but I mean, it was something I had to do, and then I said, all right, so this is what I want to do. I want to do the next step. What's the next step? All right, I got to continue taking classes. I got to start networking, right? And then things have changed so much where you can go to um, social media and find things quick. You don't even have to go to the class. Do a Zoom class. If you find it better doing it in person now, since things are opening up, by all means do it. But it's and I would say too, Stevie, that to add what you're saying, that always take classes, man. You got actors out there. One thing is to make it when they're older, way older, 50s, 60s, maybe in late 40s. But you're honing your craft by the time you make it out there. And I don't want to say the word make it because there's no word for that. Once you're out there, you've done what you love to do. You're gonna keep. It's like getting on top of a ladder, and then you get to the top, and then what? You want to keep going. You gotta see what else is
Exactly.
out there. And I say to live in that moment, live in that struggle, live that struggle. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. Because once that time comes, you're gonna be like, all right, so what next? What now? I'm already out here now. Tadwood's already on my ass. Excuse my language. TMZ's already on me, and I'm making movies. What else should I? Well, fine. This is what you wanted, right? So now you got to find what else can you do. Um, so always take classes, man. You can't always go out there and it's like getting a job. You're not gonna get your first job and make 80, $90,000. It's just not gonna happen. You got to start somewhere.
And we
So,
got a question for you from Sweetest Sin. She wants to know if you could be known in any movie genre, what would it be and why?
any movie genre. Um, if I were to make it, honestly, I would want to do action. To be honest, I've always had it, and I've never got to do any films action. Um, that's what I would want to do because obviously I've given off that Latin bad boy look. So I mean, why not use it? But yeah, it would be action. It would definitely be action because there's so many things you can learn from it. You can take a director's standpoint when they do the green screen, when they're doing, you got your stand-ins coming in. It's so many things you can look at where you're not just like, all right, I'm gonna just do this romantic movie, which I don't, not coming at it. I love it. The Notebook, like you're just one tone where it's just you being romantic with a person, which is a great story. But if you do action, you're more well around. You're like, all right, so this is what this is, and it takes a while to do those action movies. And you could be out for almost half a year doing that, but you're learning. You learn from all those other actors. You learn from the director, their standpoint, how it looks to be on a motorcycle, how it looks to throw these punches and stuff like that. Obviously, you got to be physically in shape to do it. But yeah, I would say action.
That's dope. All right, Fashion Dolls. Hi, Strange Mind, Dark Heart. Hi, my love. Welcome. We are here with Matthew F. Rios. My last question for you before we wrap up, while we're taking some questions from the audience, is do you have any upcoming
Sure.
projects?
Right now, I just which I'm gonna send you the link at some point. I wrapped up projects. Well, I had the photo shoot thing, which would be cool. It's like a nice project. But I just got the email. Well, I was had a Zoom interview today with the photographer, so that'll be coming up. Some good pictures, and also did I don't know if you know the designer Lee Newman. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Yes. So I did a shoot for their store in Jersey. That's what the link I was saying. I had wrapped that up. I had to do their catalog for marketing purposes. So they shot some pictures, which was a phenomenal thing. Their clothes, I wanted to take it all with me, but it was a good experience. As far as like filming, nothing at the moment. Just here, just auditioning. Um, Whatever my agent gives me, I'll go ahead and audition. Or if I find something through another colleague, I know they're filming something, they'll let me know. I know they're gonna do the breakup three. It's like after the breakup, at some point next year. But I don't know. But other than that, nothing coming up right now.
So we just have to stay tuned. Oh, we got another question for you. And Strange Mind Dark Heart says, "Oh my God, his eyes are so pretty." Gorgeous guys, good afternoon. Hi, my love. Welcome. Always a pleasure seeing you. And right now we're just taking questions. So if you guys have any questions for Matthew, Sweetie Sin wants to know if you could meet any famous movie star or celebrity in a movie, or star in a movie, who would it be with?
I gotta go back with Denzel, man. I feel like I can feed off of him. you get those and that's probably not just because I see him on TV, but getting those genuine actors where um, you can relate to, um, you know, as a person. When you interview them, you see them really humble, really calm. Like, hey, ask me this question, sure. Like me, right? I'm doing right now. I was not going to hinder you away. Like, no, no, I'm not doing this, Stevie. No, no, no. Like, let's get this going because I don't know what to expect. I don't know
Right.
who might see this video and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it would be Denzel. And I would like to ask questions like, you know, how'd you get here? And I read some stuff, his background and things like that. And but he's like the number one person I would say. Like, hey man, like I would like to do a movie with him, like just to get that. How do you? How can I get into my character more deeper than I'm doing right now? Like, how do you do it? How to? Because I can do that, but there's times where I let distractions come in. I'm like, oh my god, this line, hold on, But I want to be able to full blown do it without, if I can just put that distraction away and just focus on the character. But yeah, I think it would be Denzel.
Let me read some of the comments, you guys. Let's see, questions are coming in. L. Prenick, Verano, please let me know if I'm butchering your name. Let me know. Says Matthew, and we got two questions from Strange Mind, Dark Hearts. What is your dream part to play if
Okay.
you could choose any? And how far is too far? What kind of part would you never take?
That's a good question. um, okay, we'll do the how far is too far. How far is too far? I don't know. You gotta ask me when the time comes. I can say I don't even know. I could say something now, and then tomorrow it'll be something else. That's just the way I am. And it's not to say that money talks or they're going to pay me. It's not about that. It's just about the experience of, if I read the script and I like it, all right, let's go on forward. And then we can talk about money, whatever the case may be. But I need to read something before I go ahead and get the okay. How far is too far to answer that? So I can say kissing someone is going to be how far too far right now. But then if I get a role, tomorrow and I got to do this with the guy and girl, whatever the case may be, and they're offering me this, and this is all I got to do. Let's do it. Let's do it. So that's for how far too far. And what
What
was the other
is
question?
your
That first
dream
one.
part to play if you could choose anything?
Honestly, I don't really have a dream part. Like I said, action would be great. I would love to be any action movie because the way they do their stunts and stuff like that, I would like to learn that. Learn something I'm not learning now. Giving myself a challenge. I won't be a dream role. I can't pinpoint what kind of film. I mean, I'm always into the Fast and the Furious, even though a lot of people say it's dragged out, but the action there is pretty good. You're looking at like, I don't like that movie. But I don't know, just any action I would like to be a part of. There's no actual physical movie or specific movie I would say that I want to be a part of. I want to be a part of my own
So
thing.
another thing,
So
could you see yourself stepping behind the lens instead of in front of the lens? Could you see yourself stepping behind the lens, producing, directing your own project?
as far as you mean like
Yes.
directing, ah, I the films I do look at the directors what they do, and I go back and I say let me see that, how it looks. Okay, okay, cool. How do I look? All right, am I standing the right way? You're fine. What you want? Like, no, I don't know. That angle don't look right. There's times where I will say that. I mean, I've never thought of it, but who knows? I've never really took it to consideration. Um, it would be something down the line I can do because there's always ways in the industry, whether you're making your own work or and starring in your own work or doing your own work or doing work for other people. There's so many ways nowadays to get in. Um, but that'd be a question in the air. I just know it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. So I would have to think about that.
And yes, Strange Mind, Dark Heart. China McCoy, um, amazing. He did The Matrix, and we just recently interviewed him not too long ago. He does teach martial arts and stunts. He has a couple projects that are
Cool.
coming out on
Okay.
board, which is on Amazon Prime. So make sure you guys go and check that out as well too. When he was here, he talked a lot about it, and that's been his passion. That's been his dream. So it's amazing how far both of you both have been in the game for a long time, over a decade, working in the action industry. But he just took it to a whole nother level, especially with his upcoming projects. So make sure you guys go and check those out. Definitely.
Yeah, it's it's so, and then people ask us every time, like, man, like recently too, I gotta put this on my YouTube. Someone asked me, man, like, when you gonna give it up? I said, say what? What do you mean give it up? Because of my age, because time is ticking, because of this, because of that. No, there shouldn't be an age limit. There shouldn't be a time frame. There shouldn't be no, because there's so many actors out there who are still struggling, and there's so many actors out there who just made it. Well, who are being recognized now. They're like in their 50s, 60s. Like,
Still,
there's no time frame for that. You shouldn't put a time stamp. You can't tell your life, this is what I want to do. All right, that chapter's over. This is next. No. So I literally went to school for like 4 or 5 years, struggled with it because my theater teacher didn't like the way I was, because I was doing all this shit at the same time I was in college. So didn't like the way I was doing it. I'm not gonna go ahead and like throw that all away. It's like, no, I'm gonna go ahead and prove that yes, a decade is now. I'm about to make another decade. If I'm gonna keep going until you see me each and every day on that TV.
my best friend is almost 50 years old, MC rapper. Nobody gonna tell him he was too old, and that's another thing in this business is ageism. When you get a certain age in this business, I'm 29. A lot of people would say, "Oh well, why did you stop?" I started very young doing this platform, Style by Stevie, right after high school in my teens. I would have been 19, 10, yeah.
Really?
And
Wow.
right after I graduated, that's when I started this platform. So to now see the growth, see the way I talk and my range, and when it comes to having conversations with people. Whereas before, when I first started, I was a little, I'm not going to lie, I was cocky and arrogant. But now I've just sort of, when you hit 30, it's like something goes off. Ding, a light bulb goes off, and you see a whole new outlook on life. But ageism, it's a lot of that in this business, especially for women. They expect you, or if you get older or something, they expect you to stop working in this business. But for men, it's like, okay, they age like fine wine. Women, we age like fine wine. But at the same time, this is my passion. This is something that I really love to do. And I'm not going to give up my gift because you guys think that I'm too old for a certain role or I can't do this. Ageism is real, and that's what's crazy. Those literally eternally 20 is what they want. Right. And then once they're done with the 20s, it's just like, okay, we're going to get another set of 20s to come in. They don't get the other actors that have been the vets in the game that are mature and older because they don't think they reach a certain role. I mean, I give you an example. Morgan Freeman is one of my favorite actors and has been still acting
Okay.
for
Okay.
years.
Okay. I see your taste. Yeah.
Another one
Yeah.
is Angela Bassett. Angela is still, so I mean,
Hmm.
it's like you can't, you're not old enough, you're too young. I mean, in this business, they're always looking for something, and it's the next big hit factor. So, yes,
Yeah. And it's not always about like being young, and yeah, there is a slot for that. Right? Blonde hair, blue eyes, and nice jawline, nice, petite body, or they got the tall guy with a nice body, blah, blah, blah. But then there's so many, like, like I said, we put ourselves in, like, that ding at 30, and like, all right, I'm gonna give this up. Like, no, you can. How many commercials you see out there with older men, white hair in their face? They're doing commercials. They're still actors. Like, they're getting paid for that. Like, they didn't stop. You
absolutely,
know.
absolutely. I think you're a perfect queen. Thank you, strange mind, dark heart. Thank you. I try to be. Nope, I can't be perfect. We all have our flaws. I really like Lou Gossett Jr. He
Of
reminds me of
course.
my grandpa. Oh, that's another amazing act. And I feel like he doesn't get his just due
Yeah.
either. We've mentioned Morgan Freeman and Angela Bassett, but Lou Gossett, I feel like he should get his flowers also as well. So it's so many of them out here who are still
Yeah.
going. Like you guys watched the show Growing Up 227. Marla Gibbs is like in her
Hmm.
what 90s, and she's still acting. She just did. what is it? All My Children, or one of the soaps not too long ago.
Hmm.
She's still acting.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's never
Hmm.
too late to follow your passions, to follow your dreams. It's never too late. It's never too late.
Yeah, and I run into a lot of people who said, "Oh yeah, my daughter, or no, I had that dream one time, but I gave it up." And they're working at a crappy job they don't even like. How long you been there for? I've been here for about like 25, 30 years. But I had that time where I wanted to do modeling. So hold on, let me get this straight. You was at a regular job for 2020. You could have still been doing that. You could have still honed your craft and got better and got stronger. And the society we live now, you could have networked, you could have do your thing. Who knows where you could have been? Don't give up. You just keep going. I mean, there's times where I get a drop. I may not get auditions. I may get auditions, but it's not going to stop me and say I want to give up. No, I'm going to keep going. If I get a long enough drop, then I'll go to the classes and I'll just better my craft. Keep yourself busy because you never know when that one time it's going to be, hey, I want you to do commercial. Okay, what do I need to do? I need you to submit this. Look, they want you to get a call back. All right, they want you to come to this place. We're going to start filming. Like, you just never know. You got to always be learning from theater. Is always, you got to be thinking on your feet. You always got to be ready.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we hope you out there. I would like to see a new independent network that's co opted by independent filmmakers and actors. Yes. And that could come in the future. You never know. You never know. Because we're seeing so many independent
Yeah.
filmmakers that are now up and up on the rise that are creating their projects out here. And I've had the pleasure of sitting with just a few of them, and they're getting their projects out here. And people sort of look down on Tubi films. And it's just like, hey, people have to start somewhere. They have to start,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
and predominantly, especially directors and producers of color. We know how this industry is, sick of these big studios. And that's what China McCoy said that he was here the last time. If you were to go and work for a big production company like Warner Brothers or whatever, you wouldn't have that full free range of creative control. What you want your character to look like. Whereas if it's independent, you can have a little bit more fun. So I much prefer
Yeah.
independent filmmakers, and I agree with everything that Strange Mind Dark Heart just said. Love independent is really
Yeah.
all I want.
Yeah. Yeah. I was actually I was actually I was in a dental office today, and I was talking to the hygienist, and she said, "Hey, my daughter did this film ball." I said, "Yeah, where's that?" She was like, "It's in Tubi." I said, "Where?" He's like, "Yeah, it's she got paid. I mean, she didn't get paid. She got her credit to the IMDb like I have." I was like, "No, stop playing." She's like, "Yeah, it's on Tubi." Oh wow. I said, "Look at that." And she was she's a woman of color. And I was like, listen, man, she's starting now, but she's in college. She wants to put it on pause. And I'm like, listen, I can't control you, but don't let her stop it. Let her keep going and learn how to balance the college and the acting. And Tubi's great, man. She was, you think so? I was like, yeah. Like, you can't give that up. You can't make it an HBO 1, 2, 3. You can't make it enough. You think that if that was their compensation of giving your daughter instead of money, then fine. And you see the film, right? She was like, yeah, I see the film. I was like, all right, can't knock any other programs. People are going to see it and just never know where it's going to take you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we inspire and impact the next generation and the next generation of filmmakers out here. Is so many, just to name a few. So make sure that you're going out here and
Yeah.
supporting them. And that's why I invite them on my platform, because most big mainstream talk shows are not really doing it. But you have to give people, yes, I've sat with big names, and people have seen that. But I also want to pour back into the up and coming filmmakers and directors as well too. So everybody gets an opportunity here. And it goes back to what Matthew said in the
Yeah.
beginning, make sure that everybody gets a fair and equal opportunity. This is something that they want to do, especially acting.
Yeah. Yeah. When we're doing, um, whenever you're doing any project, they say, "Oh, thanks, man. You're the best actor. You guys did well." Act. I said, "Hold up, man. Hold up. We wouldn't even be here because the director, the casting director, or the director who picked us out. We're just the canvas. You give us the paper, we're gonna spit it out. You guys are creating all this. You guys got to get seen, not us. You know what I mean?" And that's what it kind of confuses me how these actors make, which I mean, I'm an actor myself. They make all these monies, which is great. But the people behind the camera, you look, if you're on set and you look behind you, there's a billion people right behind you working those cords, working that drop, working on mic, working the director's camera, the director's assistant. We're just the actors, you know? So,
Absolutely, 100%. All right, fashion dolls. Any last many questions or comments for myself or Matthew? You guys know what time it is. It is time for the final word of the day. And the final word of the day comes from Stacey Abrams. All right. Invention, discovery, and empires are built of chances taken with high degrees of failure. Don't ever forget where you came from and the ones who have helped you pursue where you need to be at this point of life in your career or wherever it may be. There should be a fair pay law for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've talked about that a couple of times. If you go back and refer back to some of my previous episodes, I talked about that in some of my girl chats about equality, equal pay for men and women. If a man can get a lot, if my male counterparts can get a whole lot more, then I should deserve the same amount as well too. I'm qualified for it, but that's a whole different conversation on the gender pay gap, and I've touched on that briefly on some of the previous episodes. So it's somewhere in there in the archives. You might have heard a few of my conversations with other women that are in the industry, because it's difficult for me being a woman of color, a black woman in this industry as well too. I have my challenges, and I've opened up and have been as transparent and candid. And oftentimes I've gotten gaslit, saying, "Oh well, you can have all the recognition and credits in the world." And I've reached out to actors, big name actors, to come on the platform. And some of them would act as if you're above and beyond. You could have the skills, you could have the quality and everything. And they would still shoot me down for a interview. They would still find a way and poke holes or gaslight
wow,
me and say, "Oh well, why did you want to
wow,
interview me? What makes you think?" All of these type of things. Back in the day it would be, "Oh, you can't do this because you're a woman." Now they have a different way of using misogyny. And for me, the misogyny that since I'm a black woman, it would be misogynoir. And I've encountered it. I've encountered it. I've reached out to actors for interviews. And some of them would still, you would share some of your work with them, and they still wouldn't think that you're qualified to interview them. I've had it happen. And this is the second time I'm being transparent about it. So those are some of the things that I've encountered. Or they would just find little loopholes through whatever it is, your testimony or whatever it may be that you're trying to pitch to them to get them to come on your platform. They would find a way to spin it and gaslight you about it. And that's the one for me. I have done
mm,
damn near almost close to 500 interviews. And it's because I have dedicated my time and just my energy to be able to do this platform 5 days a week. It takes a lot and it's draining. And I do this because I love what I do. I love conversating and opening up and having amazing, great conversation with people, getting to know them and just their story and outlook. And I don't tell them what to say. They are in control of their own stories. And that's what makes this platform even dynamic because if you go on other platforms, um, people will try to dictate your story and the way you tell it. Me, I'm like, hey, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to let you tell your story. So that's another thing to look forward to in this business is people trying to gaslight you and say this didn't happen, this did happen. But yeah, stay true to who you are. Love your honesty. Thank you, Strange Mind Dark Heart. And that's one thing that I strive for in this platform is keeping it real and being authentic. That's why I'm not on national syndicated television, where if it's like you see The Real, The View, you see Ellen, because I'm probably a little bit too radical, and they be like, "Oh, get her out of here. Get her out of here. She's a little bit too radical for me. She's way too outspoken." Yeah. So
mm. Would you
I
ever
had
want to do that?
offers, believe it or not, for people saying, "Why don't you come? We can do this on national television." I said, "No, I'm not interested in being an industry plant. I can't do it. I want my authenticity and individuality. And if I can't have my own individuality, my own voice, I'm forced to say what you want me to say, but not the truth of what our people. No, I wouldn't take that. But yeah, I'm a little bit too radical for certain things because I'm so what they say woke on social issues and everything. And I try to do it in a way where it's just like I want people to have an escape, but I also want you guys to see what's going on in the world. So I do both. I just say no to social engineering, absolutely. And my thing is this: if you're going to be a host or an actor, stay true to who you are. And originality is key. And for years, my looks might have changed, but I might look different tomorrow, but my personality and my individuality will always be the same. And that's what draws people to me like a magnet. My mom even said that, and a few other people said that. Do you ever realize that you have a gift that you attract people to you? I don't even do anything have 9 times out of 10, but just sit there and be myself. But it's because there is the
Exactly.
mystery, that aura, again, the mystery. I'm a very mysterious person. And I keep things private. I don't put people's business out there. Just recently, I had one of my guests come on the show, Troy Jackson. Shout out to him, amazing actor. He was sort of reluctant about doing the interview because he had a bad experience with the interview that he had. And I said, no, it's not going to be like that at all. And I asked him when we did our interview, I said, see, it wasn't so bad. I told him, I don't get personal. I don't get personal, and I'm not here to get all the tea. I leave that to Tasha K, Wendy Williams, and all of those girls. I'm here to be with Stevie and keep it
Yep, yep.
real, and more importantly, have fun. That's what I sold myself for. It's for wanting the people to have joy and fun, and not all the time figure, oh, I got to get the tea. I got to be messy. That, yeah, when I first started, I thought that was something that I had to do was be ahead of the game. But now, and I kind of still do, but I do it in a way that's so subtle. People love the delivery, and that's amazing.
I agree. I agree. I agree. Definitely.
Yes,
I like
a
that. I
little
like that.
long-winded, but I wanted people to get a better understanding of why do you keep things so personable? Because everybody has a time, is a time and a place for everything, and people want their privacy, and that's what it's due to a dog. We're all human at the end of the day, and I think we all.
Yeah, I could definitely agree because it's like I'm a private person, so it's just like, all right, well, Stevie's gonna like. It's nothing against you or anything like that. It was just like, all right, well, I was in the beginning. I'm like, oh crap, but then it was like, you know what, dude, let's go for it, man. So like, it was my inner self saying, don't think about it. You don't know what's gonna happen after this. Somebody might see it, and then what's gonna happen? It's because it's Stevie, right? Things happen in life for a reason, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just seen her come in. We had an amazing girl talk together. Shout outs to my girl Tamika D. Wiley, amazing actress. And remember we talked about Strange Mind Dark Heart brought it up in the comments. Um, Gender inequality. We talked about that. We had an amazing girl talk about that. We talked about inequality and women, especially women of color, us not getting equal pay in this business. It's a lot we have to just fix in the entertainment business, and that's equality for all.
Eh, Yeah, I, I just think that's really not fair. You know what I mean? I'm all for women getting their equal rights, you know, and I'm not a person who's
Right.
just like, oh, being with a person who is making more money than you. Oh, all right, well, that person makes more money than me. What's that? That doesn't mean anything. You know, a man doesn't always have to make more, or it should be equal, or just the way it is. You know, as long as you love doing what you love to do, then there shouldn't be a woman shouldn't be on a pedestal, not uh, saying being able to say their opinion. You know what I mean? So,
Absolutely, absolutely. So those are just a few of our final thoughts. This was such a great conversation, Matthew. I had such a great time, and I'm glad that you guys are all getting the gist of my platform. And I know people like us. Are you going to say anything about it? Well, I say things here and there, but I want people to have an escape. I want people to have fun when they come on the platform. Just get away from the real world for a
yeah,
minute and
absolutely.
just be a beacon of light
Yes.
for people, and I try to do that very very well vicariously through this platform. So, are there any final gems that you
Yeah.
would like to impart to your supporters? Because I see all of your supporters, they're coming in to see you. It's a mix of both. Yeah,
No, everybody's coming late. There's some late people, man. um, what I would take is, uh, what I would say is for anybody that's wants to be in the, in this type of field, which is acting or entertainment, dancer, model, whatever, fashion, anything, you know, don't give up, and even if you're a person of color, if you're not a person of color, um, just don't worry about what others say. Keep your head on a swivel. Always be alert of everything. And if there's a goal you want to do and you want to achieve, go for it. Don't stop yourself. Um, when like with my experience that I told you a little earlier, one door closes, another door will open. You just have to be patient. And nowadays, people want things at their hand right now. You just you can't. It's just not gonna always happen like that. It's like, well, you never gave up. No, of course I never gave up. I it was at Bermuda. Yeah, just what we're saying right now. Like you can't give up. You just can't. Like it's just. I think this type of field, and you have to take this as a regular job. It's like you do. You know what I mean? You can't sit there and let other artists that don't want to come in your show, other famous people, other actors, oh, they want to question you and all that. Well, you know what? Guess what? You kept it moving, right? You said, all right, well, you don't want to do it, you keep it moving. Like, you can't let anything hinder you. If this is what you want, this is your goal, just like a regular job. If that's your goal, that's your job. Send out your resume over and over, follow interviews. Like I do with me. Like, I always follow up with my agent, like, hey, is there any other work I can do? Or if I can't get to her, then I'm gonna find something out there. I'm gonna mingle. I'm gonna see what else can I do. Like, don't give it up. Don't stop, and don't let people bring you down because they're up there or they're down here. You have your level. You know what you're doing, and just focus on it. And like in life, it's like we live on a ladder. We're all taking steps until we get to the top, and at the top, we're not done. We're gonna keep going. You've been doing this how long? How
Woo!
many years?
We've been doing this for a very long time. I started in what, 2016? So we're still going now in 2023. And almost 500 episodes later, we've been doing this for a long time.
And it's just like you just don't give up. Just that's just my spiel. Like I and people ask me, oh, same thing with you were able to get talk shows, you were had those opportunities. That's not what you want to do. Like me, I'm not looking for the fame. If it comes, like I said, I'm a quiet person. You probably won't hear about. I mean, I don't know, but I wouldn't want that. Like I don't want all that attention. I just want to do what I love to do, what I enjoy to do, and wake up in the morning and be like, hey, this is what I went to school for. This is my dream since I was young, and I'm actually pursuing it. I'm happy doing it, and that fame, that attention, that all that, it's just too much. I don't think I'd be able to handle it. But as long as you do something you enjoy, you love to do, that should be your goal. If you wanna be a fashion model or a fashion artist, director, actor, um, singer, dancer, if you're wanting to do that to get fame, to get it's not gonna, then you might as well just stop. So that's my thing.
I'm trying not to laugh because I'm listening to what Matthew was saying, but I'm also hearing what's going on outside my door. Um, we have two dogs, and you guys might have heard that. Thank God you didn't hear it. But yes, all the love and respect to you both. I got to get back to work. Thank you, Strange Mind Dark Heart. It's always a pleasure seeing you. And I seen your comment. Yes. You said you had some artists for me. Definitely forward them to me. Let them know about the platform, and I'd love to have them on. Now, joining me tomorrow, we have Barry Williams and also Andre Bellows. And you guys remember Andre from Chirac, which is a Spike Lee film. He's going to be back tomorrow, and I'm excited about that. And Friday, is the biggest semi-annual sale haul. I'm super excited to be showing off these products that I have. There's so many. I'm looking at them right now, and there's some there. So, plus I have one more thing coming tomorrow. I'm excited. So make sure you guys tune in Friday. Also, Tommy Moore joins me Friday. And I think we just about completed all of our shows for this month. And no sick days, y'all. I have been consistent. No sick days, y'all. No sick days. We kept it going. So it's a job, but I love it. And I do it because it makes me happy, and I know it makes you guys happy. So thank you all for tuning in for our interview with Matthew F. Rios. Matthew, let everyone know where they can follow you, and I would love to have you again on the show. Your energy is just down to earth. And I think it's a Cancer thing. Cancers and Scorpios. Yes, we're
Oh,
yeah.
it's the waters, man. We down there. We all in the water. Um, I guess here on Instagram it's at Matthew F Rios. Facebook is Matthew F Rios. YouTube, you just put my name and it'll come up. If you just put my name on Google, everything will basically come up. Matthew F Rios. All my platforms will come up. But like I said, Facebook Matthew F Rios and Instagram Matthew F Rios as well. But yeah, Google it. Everything will come up. If you guys want to work together, any questions, shoot me an email. Everything's on there. I think what's my email? It's gonna be my last name, my first name, which is Fernando Fernando, the number 7 at AOL.com. So you can email me if you have any questions or anything. But shoot me anything if you have any questions. I do have a YouTube, so you can follow that too. Yeah, if you want to work together, collaborate, I'll be more than welcome to do that. Stevie, I do have my some shoots I did for the catalog. Would you want me to send that link to you
Yes,
so you can check it out?
sure.
Just for you.
Definitely.
Okay.
Bermuda
Okay.
Mommy says,
Cool.
I want to know. And yes,
Perfect.
this interview will be uploaded to Style by Stevie Daytime on YouTube. So you guys can check it out here and be on the lookout for the clip from this interview. You guys know we always do a clip. And make sure you guys also stay tuned and like the Style by Stevie talk show page on FB as well too. I see you guys have been liking it. Thank you so much for your support. It's been difficult having to start over, but we're here. So be sure to follow us on all platforms. And stay tuned. Join us tomorrow, Barry Williams and Andre Bellows. Take care, everyone. You too.
All right, Stevie, take